I forgot, in recording this, to put the name of the episode, The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. Enjoy the long review. Bye. Hey everybody, I hope y'all doing well today. I hope to not make this video too long, but seeing as it was an extended episode, that just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Before I start that, a lot of people on local/family Facebook didn't care for this episode. They're like, oh, I'm giving up on the show. Fuck the show. Fuck them. I don't know what you want. I thought this second half's been pretty good. You know, if something's too mindless violence, then they're like, oh, it's too mindless violence. You know, whatever. I like exploitation and I like schlock, so I guess I'll always like the show. That and I love zombies. I mean, zombies have been my favorite for at least going on 30 years. So, yeah, I'll always like them, no matter what they're on. Walking Dead, Z Nation, iZombie, you know, all those shows. Fear the Walking Dead. Yeah. I like this whole episode. I like how, you know, it shows Sasha going out, because if you watch any of the stuff on the spoilers, you know, the Walking Dead news, you knew she's going to go, and she's also going to be on the new Star Trek, so she had to go. I mean, she's the lead in it out of the leaves, so there'd be no way she could be on this show and be on that at the same time. And the flashbacks with Abraham, I can see how people would. I mean, I liked it, but I was kind of annoyed that it was just going to be, you know, slow, not really going anywhere, and that does suck for a finale. But yeah, the flashbacks could have sucked, but they're not as bad as, none of it's as bad as last season's finale, which was the only bad episode of the season, in my opinion, last year. Dwight hopefully will come around in the war he does in the comics, and, you know, at least he did give him a heads up on Negan and them coming. Yeah. I thought from a pretty good while back that those hipsters were probably trouble, and then I heard on one of the Walking Dead news type videos, you know, on here, that you know, they were going to double cross them. So I knew that before the episode, but still, it was pretty good to see the way it happened. I thought it was pretty good. I like, you know, seeing everybody moving in, and you don't know what speed they're moving in. So, you know, you think, well, are they going to be there when Negan gets there? What's going to happen? You know, is all hell going to break loose or not? And you could assume that everybody was going to be there at the same time, but they weren't. I would say, even though they're not in the comics, the Garbage Pail Kids will probably, or the hipsters, whatever you want to call them, will probably come back in at some point. Yeah. Almost halfway through this. This may not be a super long video, at least not for one of these. We'll just have to see. Yeah. I like the Sasha point of view. I do wish they had kind of done it all in one, but peppering it through the episode wasn't terrible, but I would have rather seen it all in one. I hope they turn Eugene back. I mean, in the comics he's still with Rick and him, but you never know. I know that Jada's cell will probably be killed, because, you know, you don't hurt Rick Grimes and usually killing your ass. So, we have that to look forward to next season. Although maybe they have them turn into the Whisperers, because the Whisperers are pretty weird. But then again, Rick and them would know them You know, just the way that weird dialect that she has. You would think that they could figure that out. Who knows? Uh, yeah. The bit with Sasha, it's a different character. I think it's Holly in the comics that's been taken to the sanctuary, and you know they lead her out though with her head covered, and then when they pull it off, she ends up biting one of them. I can't remember who, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good, pretty funny though to have you know it be Negan that almost gets it, which you know I thought was good. I mean, it was a little hokey, was a little silly, but I enjoyed it. I could laugh out of it. And even a little bit with Eugene trying uh, to make himself, you know, a little less douchey with her right before the lead sanctuary. Uh, I do like that all Rick's people fought back. I mean, you'd think they would, but you know, sometimes if there's that many people with guns on you, I'm sure you would just lock up and be like, oh fuck. But, I thought it was a pretty good battle. And, you know, when it kind of piddles down to nothing, you're like, okay, what's going on, you know? And then Negan has Rick and Carl there, and you know, if you've ever read the comics, that they won't die, or if they do, that will be the end of the show. And it'll probably be Rick that dies, and Carl will keep going on, but it will, you know, they are the hardest ones to get rid of on the show because the show's from their point of view. And so yeah, they can kill pretty much everybody else off if they want. Well, I'm 2/3 of the way through this. That's pretty good. I like the Rick's threat to Negan. You know, when they have him and Carl down there. You know, he makes the same threat again. Just like he did to the termites. And, you know, he finally did that. But if they follow the comics, you know, if they follow the comics, he won't kill Negan. At least Negan's still alive as far as I know in the comics. He was in the last new one I read, but yeah. And poor Michonne looks rough. She looks almost as bad as she does in the comic, because she's not that attractive in the comic. In the show, she's quite attractive, but I'm sure they could have got a lot of views and a lot of people talking about the show, though, if they had killed Carl. I know they're not going to do that, but it would have been a shock. And I also like how Rick says, "Take my hands." I would love him to lose a hand, because he does not have but one hand in the comics. But yeah, they'll never do that, and that's. If I have any critiques of the show, sometimes I know they've said that Robert Kirkman's like, that's one thing I didn't like that I done, but I actually like it in the comic, and it actually makes Rick's able-bodied. You know, he's not as able-bodied in the comic, and that makes all the amazing shit he can pull off sometimes even that more amazing. I mean, when you're able-bodied, you can do a lot more. And yeah, just going along. Rick telling him that, and really, really, really loved everybody else coming in though. I love Sheba just, you know, going in and Negan just going like, what the fuck, you know. I really wish it just been Carol come in with Sheba. Nobody else. They could have took care of all that motherfuckers. I like though everybody fighting, and the war. Maybe it'll bring back people that this season's lost, because the war is really good in the comics, at least in my opinion, and I think it could bring people back. I really enjoyed it though. I mean, this season's not been the best. Nowhere near last season in any way, shape, or form. I mean, last season was like, you know, almost 100%, except for the last episode. This season's been, first episode really good. Oh, well, you can see the seeds of Dwight turning on Negan. Well, you already know he's against Negan, but you can see Negan kind of suspects Eugene, but I hope he doesn't kill Eugene. It's kind of foreshadowing, though, for him to hold up Lucille while he's talking to him. But Eugene's got his man balls on, so maybe he'll stay alive. But yeah, oh yeah, killing, what is her damn name? Sasha. I wish they'd showed him take her out, but it's pretty poignant, though, with Maggie crying and, everybody else. But, like I was getting to, this season, the first episode, yeah, getting to see the Glenn kill. I like the character of Glenn quite a bit, and it took me a while. I had the comic with Glenn Down in it for a pretty good while, and just kept holding off on reading it, because I just didn't want to go through it. And when I went through it, and I think that's the way some people did with the show, but then they didn't follow it up with anything. Yeah, the comic doesn't follow it up with much, but the show really didn't follow it up with anything. We had 7 episodes of shit, pretty much. There was paper in there, some good things here and there, but mainly 7 episodes of shit. And this second half, I've really enjoyed it a whole lot more, and, I enjoy it. But I've read all the comics, and I can forgive a lot of shit. And a lot of people that, a lot of people can't, and I understand it. I hope it don't hurt the show too bad, but maybe they'll listen and kind of swing. I really hate them to swing for a bigger audience, but they really need to do something, because I would at least like to see them make it up to where the comics are now before the show would get canceled, which would still take a couple seasons. So I would say, though, as much money as it makes for them, that it will probably be on at least, I would say they would at least go to 10 years. So I think we've got at least 3 more years. I may be wrong. I hope I'm right. I know the only person that usually watches these is Melanie. But Melanie, I'd like to know your thoughts on it. I really enjoyed it. Anybody else that comes upon this, watch. Enjoy these. I know I'm not the best reviewer, but I try. And I only do reviews of Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. I should do reviews of many other shows, but I just don't have the time. But I'll be back with Fear the Walking Dead reviews when Fear the Walking Dead starts in June. So we'll see y'all then. And if you've made it this far in the video, you get a gold star.